Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Monday, the 6th day of March, 2023, Monday of the second week of Lent. It is the 9th day of Lent. Coming to you this morning from one of the entrances to our protected grounds that we have here on the campus of St. Francis. The culvert that usually, whenever it rains, is running with water is kind of now just stagnant over there. It's kind of gross, but signs of spring blooming all over the place. It'll be another beautiful day here in Carolina. So we have our nature preserve right behind our wetlands, right behind, or as a part of our campus. On this ninth day of Lent, we turn to Daniel today, and the interesting thing about Daniel and the passage that we have is that Daniel is trying to deal again with the situation of the Israelites in exile in Babylon. And for Daniel, the whole point is to make Israel aware that it is in Babylon not because God likes to punish people and hurt people and make our lives miserable, but it's because, again, we fail to recognize, what it is that we are and should be, and again is what we have done, unfortunately, that has put us into this situation. It is not a God who sets up things just so that we can fail and then rejoice over our failure, or a God who delights in seeing us hurt and seeing us in pain, but is a God who shows a way, and it is our choice to follow that way or not to follow that way. And Daniel, in this passage from his book, basically goes into all of the things that Israel has done wrong, that has landed them in exile. And all through that is also the constant refrain that God is merciful and that God will basically bring them out of the situation once they realize that this is not a situation they want to be in. It is not about a judgment and a justice that is involving pain and inflicting punishments and what have you. It is about a God who loves and a God who wants us to live out of that love and experience that love in as many ways as possible. And the way in which we experience that love is not forgetting who it is that we are, who it is that we belong to, and who it is that has shaped and nurtured us. The book of Daniel is always about drawing Israel back to that and allowing Israel to be able to see the reality and the truth of its relationship with God, and to find courage and strength, not just to endure this exile, but to persevere through it and await the time when it can return back to its homeland. In Luke's gospel today, we get the last part of the wonderful Sermon on the Plain, where two of those five characteristics that qualify a believer, that characterize the life of a believer in this world, that are basically the five attitudes and behaviors that God asks us to have as believers in the world, that appear in all the Gospels. Two of them that are stressed today is the attitude of being merciful and the attitude of not judging. Two things which, again, go hand in hand. To be able to be merciful, again, is not to show pity, because pity, again, does not work. Pity only goes so far. Pity can also put somebody in a position of inferiority to the one who is the pitier, and so it doesn't aid in any way, shape, or form. And that's not biblical mercy. Biblical mercy is basically knowing the hills and valleys that each of us have traveled in our lives, knowing what makes us each us, the investment of time and energy in getting to know who one another are, in getting to know, in getting to enter into each other's lives, in being able to see what causes us to both be challenged and to achieve, in this world. Because it is out of that knowledge that relationships can build. It's out of that knowledge that people can come to an understanding and come to unity with and for each other. What judgment does is that it stops us from being able to get to know each other, the hills and valleys that we traverse. It stops us from entering into each other's lives. It creates a block. It creates a wall, which is not good for building human relationships. Yes, we need lawyers. Yes, we need justice. But judgment sometimes is not justice. Sometimes judgment is just because our ignorance wins out or our arrogance wins out. Jesus tells us that is not what we're supposed to be, and that is not helpful to us becoming what it is that we are meant to be, or for bringing the kingdom to light on this earth. Two important things, perhaps, again, to learn in our Lenten journey: to be more merciful, to be less judgmental, to allow the reign in the kingdom of God to bloom through our love and our care for one another. And may the Lord give you his peace.